Hello everyone. Thank you for stopping by my YouTube channel, Get Crafty with Sally. My name is Sally Poole. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Albany, Oregon. Welcome. Today I am going to be making another front step pop-up card because I think they're so fun, using the beautiful paper from the Florals in Bloom Designer Series paper pack. If you watch my videos, this card might look familiar. I did not very long ago do a same layout with this. I think it's called Snowflake Pines. I should have looked it up before I started. It is the same card base. I just have been wanting to use the Inspiring Snapdragons bundle for quite a while, so I thought I would do it on this card with this beautiful paper. So I'll show you how I have done this. The Inspiring Snapdragons bundle is retired. It just was on the last chance not too long ago, and I happened to snag it. I had been looking at it but hadn't bought it, but it was such a good deal at that time that I grabbed it. So this is what you're going to need to make this card. So you can either grab a screenshot of this, or as always, I will have a PDF linked below this video in the description box. So you can just click on that link. It'll actually take you over to my blog where the link is stored. So you can either look at it, print it out, whatever you want to do. You don't have to use Strawberry Slush, Pretty in Pink, and Timid Tiger. They just happen to be the ones that I already had cut out, so I'm going to use those today. I am using this card for a crafting event I'm having next month, the end of October, and I think I did 24 kits. So what I did was take several of the colors. I think I took 5 of them from this pack. There's quite a few colors in here. I think I used Darling Duckling, Peach Pie, Pretty in Pink, Strawberry Slush, and Timid Tiger. And what I did was I took these 3 dies from the Snapdragon set, and I cut 3 out of each of those colors, and then I took 1 of each color and put those in the kits. So it's pretty easy to do it that way. If you're going to make multiples, don't go through and cut out, you know, 1 of this, 1 of this, and then 1 of this, and then do it all over again. I've got a couple little dragonflies. I don't know if you noticed them on the card or not. Those I kind of just did in a bunch of different random colors. I don't think they really matter. I believe I used Pretty Peacock and Gorgeous Grape for those, but like I said, you can use whatever you want. And of course, you don't have to use this paper either. Whatever you're in love with at the moment. So let's get started. Let me scooch some of this out of the way. I'm not going to need these. And we've got a 4 1/4 by 11 card base scored at 5 1/2. And that actually is like a normal card base. And then we've got this piece of basic white that is 4 by 9 3/4. I've scored it at 2 1/4 and 4 1/4. And that gives us the little front step pop-up. And after we glue some of our pieces to it, we will glue it to the actual card base. So let's get to putting this together. Guess I'll take my Post-it note off of that. Take our Post-it note off of that one. I'm going to grab my chair. Hopefully we're in the camera. Got a new bottle of glue. I've got my little beehive glue holder. I'll link that again in case people are going to wonder where I got that from. My Tombow glue fits right in it. This is an extra large bottle and it still does fit. So let's take our 3 3/4 by 5 piece of designer series paper, and we'll put some glue on the back of this. Brand new bottle of glue. Haven't got it started yet. There it goes. I'm so happy that it's fall. I love the fall. It's still kind of warm here. It has cooled off a lot in the evenings, but I think it's in the 80s here today. So still enjoyable. So let's put this on the top portion of this step piece. Try to get it even. Make sure our paper pattern is going in the right direction. This you just leave blank. There won't be anything on it. The other piece of designer series paper goes on this little front panel. So let's put some glue on that. I've already got sticky fingers. Try to get this centered nicely. So that is all we need to put on here for now. So now let's flip this over. We're going to attach it to the card base. We'll flip it over, put some glue on it. I'm going to stand it up so I can make sure that I stand myself up so I can make sure that I get it straight. And you want to make sure that your base opens at the bottom. I've got this step piece folded up. I am going to center it right on the card base. You don't need to scoot it down to the bottom or anything. You just want a nice even margin all the way around. Okay, so that is that piece. So next, let's grab our 3 by 4 1/4 piece of, I have strawberry slush, and then a 2 3/4 by 4 piece of basic white. And I have embossed this with the cane weave embossing folder. You can use whatever embossing folder you like, or just leave it plain. You don't have to emboss it if you don't want to. I personally think it adds a nicer look to the card. So let's attach that to the strawberry slush piece. And then you can either, if you want to, you can attach this now, but I think I'm going to add my little snapdragon pieces to it first. So I'm going to take my, you might want to take these for a practice run. Figure out where you want them. I kind of like the tall one in the middle. This one kind of curves inward, and then the smaller one again curves inward to the left. And I think this is a nice graphic layout type of thing where the angles are, if that made any sense. So let's put a little bit of glue on the back of this piece. My glue is not coming out very well, and I don't want to give it a big squeeze. If you hear the funny noise and haven't watched my videos before, that is Willow, one of my Cavalier King Charles Spaniels, and she happily takes a nap while I am recording my videos. And I think she heard her name because she stopped. So let's adhere this Timid Tiger piece. I don't really think you would want to pop these up on dimensionals. You could try it and see what it looks like. There's already kind of a lot of card going on here. So let's take our last piece. You could also make stickers out of these with the, I can never remember what it's called, adhesive sheets. So you can just peel the backing on and stick them down. But I think there's enough surface on these die cut pieces that you've got enough area to get your glue on there. So now we are going to attach this panel to the lower step part of the card base. And if you'll notice, you're only touching the base with the bottom, maybe third of the card. So you don't want to put any adhesive up here. So what I usually do is flip it over and kind of figure out where I think I'm going to put it. And then I'll put my glue on here. That way I know I'm not going to go above that area. So I've probably got a 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit more than that. So let's adhere this piece to the front, and I'm trying to get the left and the right sides equal. You don't have to match that size up with the bottom if you don't want to. So that looks pretty good. So now let's grab our little dragonflies and put some glue on them. I'll put that one right on that snapdragon. And this little one is hovering up over the snapdragon. So let's put him right there. Then I've also got some, and I know some of you appreciate me using retired things and some of you probably don't, but I am using iridescent rhinestones, basic jewels. Pretty sure these are retired too, because I grabbed a bunch of them, so they must have been in the last chance. Let me grab my tweezers. I am going to put one, and I'm just going to use the small ones. I'm going to put one right about here and one up here. And let's put one down here. Make sure everything is adhering. So the last thing I'm gonna do is I've got a 9-inch piece of, this is the crinkled white seam binding ribbon, which is also retired. My favorite ribbon ever. And I have a ton of it, so you will see me using it a lot. I've already tied a little bow with it. I am going to grab, I usually glue these on here and set one of my blocks on it and let that dry, but I'm actually going to use one or two glue dots. So I'm going to flip my little bow over, kind of roll the glue dot up a little bit. I'm going to stick that on the back. And I'll roll up another one for the left side. It's the pits if you get them stuck to your fingers. I'm not using that one. This one might work. Let me get my tail back down there. So let's get another glue dot. And we will place our little bow at the bottom of the snapdragons. Let me see if I've got some good scissors to cut the ribbon with. I guess you could just leave the tails that long if you wanted. I am gonna cut them down a little bit. That didn't work very well. I kind of have the feeling that I always cut my ribbon in the same spot on the scissors. So they might be dull in that area. There we go. Okay, so all we've got left is our sentiment. If you don't want to put a sentiment on the front, and I'm using the I Appreciate You, it is from Impressions of Bloom. I've stamped it in Strawberry Slush. If you don't want to put a sentiment on the front, and you really don't have to because there's enough going on here, you can cut a basic white panel that's about 4 by 5 1/4. Stamp your sentiment on there. You could stamp some of the Snapdragon images and the dragonflies if you wanted. You could either even glue some more of the die cuts in there with the little dragonflies. Whatever you want to do, there's all kinds of options. So let's take the scrap of basic white is to stamp the sentiment. I've already done it ahead of time. I did cut it out with, what did I do with the dies? My favorite rectangle stitched framelits, and I used the second largest one in this grouping, and I didn't do any of my weird moving of the die. It just fits perfectly on that sentiment. And then this 1 by 3 Strawberry Slush piece of cardstock fits perfectly behind that cut out sentiment. So let's put some glue on that. And we'll adhere it to our Strawberry Slush piece. I'm not having much luck scooching things today. They're kind of sticking where I set them. So let's put a little glue on this piece. Stand up again. And I'm going to flip that over. And then hopefully I can get this straight and even. That looks pretty good. So there is our card with the Inspiring Snapdragons and the Florals in Bloom Designer Series paper. What do you think of it? I think this paper is so pretty, and it's still springy, summery, beautiful colors. I think that you should give it a try. I hope some of you grabbed the Inspiring Snapdragons bundle when it was on clearance, or maybe you already had it. So that is my card for today. I hope you liked it. I appreciate you watching my video. If you're getting anything out of my videos, please hit the like button, give me the thumbs up, share my video with your friends and family, and if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. It does help my channel grow. So thank you again for stopping by and spending some time with me. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. Bye.